Now, the art of blind love. There's a lot of tranquility in love. Love is the most precious thing on this planet, and I'll never hold it against anything. Love is what makes me whole. Love is what makes me me. Love is what makes me a human being. Love is all throughout my life, my essence. And all my life, I lived for love. I lived for being with someone, sharing my time with someone, and loving somebody, no matter how much it would hurt. So just like anyone like me, I ended up getting blinded by love, couldn't let go, and held on to a past that I knew that couldn't happen again. And now that I'm happily in love with someone I dearly care about, I think it's great for me to share this story if anyone's dealing with blind love or anything that hurts them and they can't let go of a woman. Now, this goes back to my first love and my first ever relationship out of my two. Now, we go back to my freshman year, and of course, everyone when they're freshmen, they're just fresh meat. You don't really have a personality, you're kind of just a bot. And that's how I was whenever I first started my freshman year. I met a girl in about the start of the year around August, and this is how it all started. So for the story's sake, let's call her Lena. She was a girl that I was friends with in my science class, and I became good friends with her, and she tried to put me on with this one girl named, for the story, let's say Emily. She tried to put me on with this girl, Emily, and she said I was cute, and she said she wanted to hang out at a football game. And you know me, I was really socially awkward back then in my freshman year, so I was really reluctant to be around her. I remember she kept asking me where I was, and I said I was going to come there in a minute, and just basically trying to avoid her a little bit. But we ended up talking at that game. While I was talking to her at the game, a light-skinned girl came behind her, and they were really loud and they were really obnoxious, and I kind of just walked away. The Emily girl got a little mad at me because I just walked away from her while we were quote-unquote on a date. So I basically fizzled out with her after that game. We ended it off on good terms. Like, she didn't hate me, but she didn't really like me anymore because, you know, I kind of just pulled a 180, and I'm kind of glad that happened. But a couple weeks later, I saw this girl, the same light-skinned girl that we saw at the game, on her TikTok. And I saw her on my Quick Ad, and I was like, hey, might as well give it a chance. I'm gonna add her on Quick Ad while I was in my second period in class. And lo and behold, I ended up speaking to her because she added me back pretty much instantaneously. And we had a little bit of conversation. I got to know her a little bit on Snapchat because I wasn't really talkative on person, and it was really hard for me to communicate with someone. So I just went through my texting thing, and I told her, how you doing? How old are you? When's your birthday? Where are you from? What do you like to do? And all that different type of mumbo jumbo. And I also added on like music and different types of stuff like that. And I ended up chatting it up with her a little bit. We got to know each other a little bit more, and I was like, hey, you want to get on the phone whenever I get home? And she said yes, of course. And we ended up getting on the phone, and we talked pretty much all night. We talked on the Friday night, right when I had work the next day and I had to go in at 5. And we talked to pretty much 3 a.m. in the morning, so I got no sleep that night. And the talk was very deep talk about life, about our personal life, about everything that was going on in our lives. And then one call turned into 2, and 3 turned into 4, and lo and behold, I've been talking to her for a week now on the phone. And it got to the point whenever we were on the phone and she asked me, you know, your school is going to be at this game and I'm going to be there as well. Why don't you go? And it was basically me on my first date. So she asked me to go to this game, and I ended up going, and we hung out. We talked, we explored, we went to this backwoods, and we just chilled around, snuggled up a little bit on the softball, on the stands, and we just chilled and chatted it up for a very long time. This led up to our second date, and we went to the movies and watched the Beetlejuice movie when it came out. I met her mom, I met her little brother, and we just chilled around and we watched the movie and snuggled up for a little bit, and then we walked to this other place across the street to a Kohl's, and then we went to my work, chilled there for a little bit, and then we left. And after all that happened, I thought to myself, and I was like, I really like this girl, and I really hope this can go somewhere. I played football at the time, and when I played football, I was about to get on the bus, and I was like, you know, I might as well shoot my shot like I'm Devin Booker. Can I back you? And I asked her to go into a talking stage with me, and she accepted. And lo and behold, we started talking and building a connection together. And a week after that, she officially became my girlfriend. And before that, this might have been a red flag from the jump gut, but she said I love you, basically like not even into the talking stage yet. And we started dating, and everything was completely fine. You know, I was hanging out with her every other now and then, and we were talking pretty much on the phone every single day. And from what she told me, she had a crazy mom and a crazy dad, and it was just a weird family bind. And I understood that to a degree. because she also did some crazy stuff as well. She also was a chiefer, a smoker, a vapor, whatever you want to call it, and she nicked herself, if you know what I mean. So she had a lot of family issues, and I understood that, you know, not everyone is perfect. Everyone has a certain card they're dealt with at birth, and whether it's a fuck card or a good card, you gotta deal with it. So I was understanding, but back then I was a lot more emotionally non-developed, so I was really emotionally vulnerable, and that led us into us getting into a lot of stupid arguments, and me being the weird socially awkward kid I would be in the middle of the class shaking my ass off because I think my girlfriend is going to leave me. But that doesn't come till later. Right now we're just in the sweet couple things that happened on my first relationship and my first love. So nothing bad happens for a very long time, and we're just a good, perfect, old lovely couple that hang out with each other every time before and after cheer practice. I stay there and wait for her. But a little bit of time passes, and let's do a little bit of a time skip because nothing really important happens in this moment. And October rolls around and Halloween is rolling around in my area, and we ended up going to this haunted house with me, her best friend, and my best friend at the time went to this haunted house together on a quote-unquote two-man, but we were both like in relationships, and we basically rolled around, had a little bit of fun, and then we head home, and your boy got his first makeout session. So we time jump a little bit from this, and I get my concussion in football and I'm out for the season. We hang out at Olive Garden, and a little bit of arguments happen, but this is when our bond completely closed. For some reason, when I got my concussion, we got a stronger bond just from talking on the phone after and me relaying like my free spoken emotions and how I felt. That gave us a stronger bond. Don't ask me. I don't even remember half the stuff we did before because of the concussion and what it did to my brain. So I'm telling you guys about what I remember, but yeah, let's continue. But I didn't mention this yet, but she was very suicidal, and it starts to build as the story grows. Like, remember when I said earlier that she nicked herself? Yeah, nicked herself like that. But she was very suicidal, and I didn't realize it until she told me about her insufferable friend. And let's say her name for this story's sake is Paige. Paige ruined her life. She would nag her, put her in drama, and try to bring her down all the time, and this made her suicidal. And guess who had to deal with that? Ya boy. This didn't really completely pick up until winter break. Whenever we were around the winter season in December, specifically around December 15th, December 16th is what I remember. It might have been 05 or that. But this is whenever we started to hit the downfall or the press play to go down button. So she ended up making a random ass number account and tried to text me on there, and it was very obvious that it was satire. And she argued with me that night and was like, yeah. And it was obvious that it was very satire, but I was like, Pinky promise it wasn't you. Pinky promise it wasn't you. She got mad at me for wanting to prove that she wasn't the person that set it up when I was just clearly joking, and she hanged up. She got into an argument with me and she was like, I'll text you back tomorrow. I don't want to talk to you for the rest of the day, and I'm gonna go to the mall and da 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 da. Well, she went to the mall and she forgot to ask her dad. And guess what happened? Her dad caught her at the mall and took her home and said, bro, you are grounded. It's done. It's over. He took her phone. He took her everything. And it was basically fucked. And I thought it was over. I thought the relationship was over, and she was already having suicidal thoughts before, and I was like, damn, she might be gone. I didn't get no updates on her Life 360, and the only thing I could do to think of at this moment was to call one of my friends at the time and explain what happened, and explain like, maybe we have a chance again together. Maybe it might be over. And I'm just sitting there spewing all my heart out to my friend, and you know, it sucked. And the morning rolled around and I was going to school, and I ended up getting a message from her, and I was like, how are you texting me? I thought you lost your phone. And she was texting me off of a friend's phone, and she was like, you know, I'm gonna try and message you as much as I can. I'm okay, but I'm fucked and the situation's fucked and I feel horrible. I didn't sleep that night. So we ended up talking on Google slideshows, and I ended up getting a subscription on Zoom just to talk to her. So we ended up chatting it up on Zoom, and her mom was going to get her a phone on the weekend. So all I had to do was endure till that weekend, and then we'll be chilling. So the weekend rolls around and we hang out that day. I help her mom move into her house, and she gets her phone back, and we chill, and I finally like give her a chance at peace. And looking back, I don't understand how I stayed for so long and dealt with all those arguments and all that. But it's about Christmas time now, and she ends up getting her phone back, and everything's all jolly and beautiful and sunshine and rainbows, until she ends up getting her vanity and her dad catches her with a vape in her bed and she gets grounded again. And guess what? Guess who had to deal with that? And guess who had to deal with her once again having pills and trying to end it? Me, jackpot. And this time she didn't have her trap phone and all we had was Xbox parties. Exactly. Xbox parties, that's what we used. And this begins the downfall of the relationship, because it turns out that she cheated on me with this dude and she didn't tell me she cheated. She said she took an edible and got manipulated into hugging him. But then in her sleep she admitted that she kissed him, and then in her sleep she admitted she kissed him, and she literally looked me in the face, told me that she cheated because I was getting boring. But for some reason I had such a strong trauma bond with this woman, I could just not let go. And it all came to an abrupt end whenever I helped her. And this all came to an abrupt end whenever she wanted to get with this tranny dude. Now this all ended because she wanted to get with this dude that she obsessed over, which was a girl pretending to be a dude. And after everything I helped her with, after all these months, she just ditched me for this man and basically broke up with me. And I checked her story the other day and I got cucked out because she was on top of him and they posted a story together and I got cucked out, and that like fucked me over to mentally infinity and beyond. And my life went a little bit radio silent for a while. The Eagles won the Super Bowl. My life was getting a little bit better, but I still had contact with her even though she was in between blocking me and unblocking me. But you know, life was still fruitful. I got a little bit better and I got past the problem with whenever I first broke up with her, her best friend literally hit it at me and I fucked her over because I was mentally fucked at that time too. But then late February rolls around, early March, and she tries to slide back into my DMs. I'm being so honest, slide back into my DMs. And me being the shoe licker I was, I ended up getting back with her for some apparent reason, and we talked for a while and we basically got back together again. And then we saw a Deftones concert, hung out, were together for about another month, and then she started to become dry. She cheated on me again with this random dude when I went into her account and saw it, and I got fucked up. I literally went out with my friends that day, walked around the entire block for like 10 hours, talked to her. She finally admitted to it and she said it was just for fun. Evil light skin theory, by the way. And then she ended up turning lesbian, and then she just got rid of me completely out of her life. And from now on, from now, it's just been radio silent since. But now I found my love, found my true love, and I found a real woman that actually takes care of me and that I actually love completely and fully. And you might be asking, you have a whole girl, why are you sharing this story? Why are you on this topic in general? I had someone talk to me about how people are blind in love and how to get help from that. And I wanted to share my side of my story and why I went through that and how I went through that and how I persevered through that. And it's to stay busy, get your mind off of her, and realize that after the first time, it's never going to be the same again. So you might as well just let go, find someone you truly love, someone that can truly take care of you like I did. And then you can grow for that, and that makes you a better person all around. So remember, protect your energy from women like that. And I was blinded for so long. I had such a trauma bond. It was so hard for me to let go, but it took me some time and I did it. And then I found out that I found the woman of my dreams, and she came to me. And now I'm doing YouTube for fun and being with her, and that's just how my life is now. And the thing is, I like to tell these stories and tell these thoughts to people, even though I know I'm not making that much money from it, and I'm not making a dime until I turn 18, because spoiler warning, I'm 16 right now and I can't make money off YouTube till I'm 18. So I just want to grow a fan base, help people, inspire people, and to grow my channel to a bigger audience where I can make better content when I am able to make revenue from this site. But make sure to protect your energy, man. Don't be blinded by love. If you see bullshit, confront it. Speak your mind freely. Don't hold it back and let it be trapped in your mind, way down on your conscience, and fuck you over. Because I know what it's like to be like that. So anyways, I'm gonna start to wrap it up here. I love you guys. Thanks for listening to my story. If you want more storytelling videos like this that aren't highly edited and have a lot of clips in them, make sure to let me know in the comments. I will make sure to fulfill every one of your wishes. Road to 10K. I love you guys so much. Goodbye, guys. Subscribe, like, I know I'm saying that again, and become a member if you want. I might make some videos for members only, but you know how it is. Goodbye, guys. Capiche. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.